Paralympians taught me humility and post-traumatic growth. They literally brought me to my knees. I will explain my volunteer experience right after this. In 2002, I was a volunteer with the Paralympic Games in Salt Lake City, Utah. If you're a volunteer, you get to do a variety of things. I was able to have backstage passes to help with the opening and closing ceremonies of these games. The neatest part of it is I got to work with the gold medal winners at the end of the ceremonies, and I'll explain that story in just a minute. Hi, I'm Hugh Watt, founder of Trial Tappers. The motto for these Olympics were mind, body, and spirit. I saw this with all the athletes. I saw athletes that were vision impaired, had limb deficiencies, and many that use wheelchairs after sustaining paralysis and a traumatic injury. The Paralympic movement offers sports opportunities for athletes with physical, vision, and/or intellectual impairments that have at least one of the following 10 eligible impairments: impaired muscle power, impaired passive range of movement, limb deficiency, leg length difference, short stature, muscle tension, uncoordinated movement, involuntary movements, vision impairment, and intellectual impairment. The Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation state, "We all know someone, a brother, sister, friend, neighbor, or colleague living with paralysis. These aren't strangers. They are only 1 degree of separation from all of us." The Miller School of Medicine has stated 17,810 new spinal cord injuries each year in the United States. Males account for about 78% of the new spinal cord injuries cases. Now, the Paralympic Games showed a variety of athletes that have overcome a lot of trauma and trials in their life. And the neat thing is I was able to learn what we call vicarious or secondary post-traumatic growth. Now, have you heard the term secondary trauma? That's where you see someone else who's gone through a trauma or heard someone else go through a trauma or heard their stories, and you can get traumatized from hearing those events. Sometimes you'll see this with clergy, doctors, therapists that hear these stories and somehow they get a little bit traumatized. So that's called secondary trauma. But there's also a term called secondary post-traumatic growth or vicarious post-traumatic growth. That's where you get to see other people that have overcome trials and grown to a point that it changes your perspective on life. One of the founders of post-traumatic growth, Richard Tedeschi, said it best: "Being around trauma survivors and helping trauma survivors, some of it rubs off on you, we could say. You learn some lessons by helping other people." The 5 domains of post-traumatic growth are: first, a personal strength. I could see this as secondary post-traumatic growth for me as I watched the amazing strength and resilience of these athletes. If they could achieve what they did, I could also achieve these things and if I needed to. The second was the appreciation and the help of others. And I saw this as community, family, friends come together to support these athletes. The third is the idea of a new appreciation for life. And I definitely found this in post-traumatic growth, watching these athletes, an appreciation for everything in life and everything that I had. The fourth is the idea of a new spiritual or existential connection. And it was a spiritual thing for me to watch and to interact with these athletes and to see the spirit that was inside of them. If you like what you've heard so far, smash that like button. Okay, back to the rest. The fifth is the idea of new possibilities and what is possible. And definitely watching the athletes and seeing what they could achieve and the possibilities for their future and mine if needed be. As a volunteer, I got to do a variety of things, whether that was passing out props, flags. I even got up close and personal to the torches during the opening ceremonies. But the neatest part was working in the closing ceremonies, as I got to kneel down in front of these athletes that some used wheelchairs and helped the flag bearers attach these poles to their wheelchairs. These are the poles that held their flags for their countries. It was a humbling experience. These wheelchairs were not fancy, they were just average wheelchairs. And the athletes were so humble. They were taking pictures of me putting on the flagpole holders to their wheelchairs. And the neatest exchange I had was one of the gold medal champions asked me, should he wear his gold medals out in the ceremonies? This athlete was just conflicted. Was it boasting, prideful that he was showing off his gold medal during the ceremony? I convinced him it was not, and that he should wear it to the ceremony. To my joy, after the ceremony was over and I was taking off his post here, he was smiling from ear to ear. If you ever get a chance to volunteer for the Paralympics, I encourage you to do so, and you too might find vicarious post-traumatic growth. If you like this video, you might want to watch one of my other videos about post-traumatic growth. Comment below somebody that inspired you in your life. As a trial tapper, I tap pain, I find a path, and I grow stronger. Thanks for watching.